How you write content today is super important. It's very different than what it's been in the past. And if you are using artificial intelligence, there are very important things to know on how to prompt, how to edit, how to incorporate a brand voice, etc. So I'm going to tell you a few things that Soap Media has done over the last year to completely revamp how we do content generation. I think it's very important to understand. So number one, when you write content, do the research as to what that content is. If it's just 3 things to know about how to pick weeds from your lawn, it may be of value, but if you're not doing research into what the actual content's designed to do, for instance, is it a particular piece of content to rank to drive a lot of top of funnel traffic to your site? Because blogs can rank and drive traffic. 2, is it designed to support cornerstone content, which is something I'll talk about in a second? Is it designed to link to an internal page to enforce the rankings of a service page, for instance? What is the intent behind the content? That's been around for a long time, but it's more important now than ever. A lot of people are just saying, write a bunch of articles and post them. There's no real thought behind it. There's no real keyword research or any intent. 2, when it comes to writing content, make sure the depth is strong and it's not like 300 words, 400 words. Now, don't get too caught up in word count. It's really about value over anything, but general data shows that if you make very readable content, right, or scannable content, because we scan more than we read, and it can keep people on page longer, that rewards your site, it rewards your ranking. So make sure the content has depth. Now, one of the best things to do to break up that depth to get people to read is break it up with infographics, images. Now make sure they're compressed, there's alt text on the images. There are a lot of little SEO factors to consider when you add those images to the content, and make sure it's broken up into clear headings and there's a proper structure behind it all. Very important to make things scannable. Next, the other really important thing is the EAT methodology. If you look up the EAT methodology in regards to SEO and artificial intelligence, it really comes down to authoritativeness. What in your content is authoritative and showing expertise? These are signals that large language models like ChatGPT look for. All the big platforms are looking for this. It's super, super important. Make sure you do an EAT check on all the content that's written. Another really big thing is because so much content is AI generated, it all starts to sound the same. What we do at Soap Media is we create a brand voice document for every single client. Every single client, we have very strong brand voice documents. We actually rolled this out over the last couple of months. It's pretty recent because we saw the trend and the importance of content that follows a brand voice and is unique, and large language models and even traditional Google search, it rewards you greatly for this. So make sure your content is as unique as possible, and there are different duplicator checks to run. So like we have a really rigorous flow for our content that you probably can't mirror, but running duplicator checks, EAT methodology checks, making sure that all those things are really good. And then we'll incorporate schema markup. And there's some more advanced things that you don't need to worry about. But as long as the content is long enough, has EAT methodology, a strong brand voice, readable, scannable, and has a good amount of depth, you should be in a good spot. Now, the other really big thing is understanding the way your site is structured is really important. A lot of the times we write blogs to support pages that we want to rank for. Now, yes, the blog, often the intent is to rank it in of itself, but then we internally link from that to another page on the site, which would be called cornerstone content. And this is basically a pillar that supports that. And Google and other engines look at those internal links. Another big thing to consider is references. So when we talk about EAT, we're starting to incorporate references now on the content we generate, and we're making sure the content we generate, where we source some of the information, is as reputable as possible. So if you reference at the end of a blog and have, let's say, I don't know what's really reputable, let's say WebMD, for instance, as a reference on a client blog, Google wants to see that you are referencing out to these companies. There's so many different considerations in all of this. So here's some tips when you are writing content today to consider that are quite a bit different than they used to be. Used to be able to generate a 750 word blog and rank it pretty easily just by optimizing metadata, which is my last point. Metadata is changing, so every page is going to have titles, descriptions, H1s, etc. Some of those factors are not as important as they used to be, but if you have time, you definitely want to optimize the H1 and the title tag at a bare minimum, but we optimize everything across the board because the more checkboxes today, the better chances there is for you to rank. If you have any questions or want to ask us about our content writing process, there's a lot of other things, but this kind of covers it in summary, but you can reach out to us directly. And if you're already a client and you're watching this, then you don't have to worry about a thing. We got you covered.